The word is average, media. We average. Everything is average. Average call time, average handle time, average this, average that. So, and it looks like this. We have some average employees who deals with average customers, who have average requests, and then we do average interactions, and we get average handling time, and then we go in the elevator and the CEO is saying, oh, how is it going today? Average. It's pretty average. This is where the problem is, guys. We're in the average business. I would submit to you that the biggest challenge of customer experience is not that you have complaints, is that you are meeting customer expectation. You are meeting them, and it's boring. Let me give you an example from real life. Let's say you're married for 10 years, and every Friday night you go to the same Italian restaurant and you ordered exactly the same thing. 10 years. And your wife says, should we maybe try Japanese? No. We are used to this. This is how we do it. 10 years, same way. You are boring your customers. We are shooting for meeting expectations. That's not exciting. I got a call one day from a client who said, Lior, we just improved the customer experience by 90%. I said, whoa, how did you do that? He said, we had a big problem with the accuracy of the invoices. 100% of them was not accurate. Now we fixed it, only 10% are not accurate. So we increased the customer experience by 90%. I said, wow. So I have a question. Can you name for me one customer who would pay you maybe 5 cents more for the privilege of receiving an accurate invoice? No. This customer was focusing on what we call dissatisfier removals, below the parity line. You have to do it. You have to fix the processes. You have to fix the problems. But this is not where we stop. This is not where we stop. We cannot stop at average. We don't have average customers. We don't have average employees, and we should not be delivering average performance. If our brand is average brand, it's not going to get you retention. I will submit to you that our biggest challenge is that we deliver a boring performance, not an exciting performance. You are not delighting anyone. You're just doing it okay. The memorability is not great. And then you want to sell them something? Give them a great wow, and they will come naturally, and they'll give you their names. So let's take an example of that. Many of us have moved a lot of interactions to self-service, right? Self-service, IVR or VRU, depending on how you call it. You know, the web, the mobile, the kiosk. Here's what you just did. The moment you take a service that you used to give to the customer, and you are now giving it to the customer to do on their own, you know what you just did? You move it below the parity line. You practically outsource tier 1 service to your customers. You outsource it to the customer. You can outsource it to ACS. You can outsource it to the customer. You did. Now the customer is working for you, doing service. He's doing tier 1 service. It's below the parity line. And I will repeat to you again, self-service is not correlating well to loyalty. In fact, at Virgin Atlantic Airways, they try to move you away from the web and into the call center. You know why? They do on average double the business if you call the call center or if you do it on the web. But here's what happens. If you have large group of customers who are doing their own service for you, when they do call you, why do they call you? You need to rethink the role of call center, or for that matter, the branch, or any other human interaction in the context of when they call us, we better be ready to deliver out of the ordinary performance. Because they will say to us, we already did tier 1 for you. I want to make sure you're giving me tier 2. You give me the specialists. You give me the people that can break the rules. You give me the people that can deliver exceptions. So I'm not saying self-service is going to go away, but I'm saying when they do call us and they had an option of self-service, that means they're telling you, your self-service and your procedures did not work well for me. I need a different solution. And that means the people that need to take those calls and the performance that they need to deliver has to be above the parity line. This is the time where you need to show them that you care. Especially after you outsource tier 1 to them. They feel like, I did the work for you, now you better do some work for me. She had the choice. She can be in the business of flowers, but that's everybody can do. Or she can be in the real business that the customer needed. What was the real business? What this customer needed is not a dozen roses. What this customer needed is a marriage extension. Okay? That's what he needed. And she had a choice. She can be in the business of flowers, it's a commodity, or she can be in the business of marriage extension. And if this husband is going to be okay and not going to make more mistakes for the next 5, 6 years, she saved him. She saved him. That's the difference between a memorable experience and an okay experience. If she would have sent the flowers, it would be just fine. It's not bad, but it doesn't solve the customer needs. Now, I have a small little secret for you. You think this is the first husband that forgets his anniversary? No. She gets 3 of them every day. She has a machine. She knows how to do it already. She has the cards with the apologies already ready. It's just which customer is today. We are very busy with our products that we forget what customer experience is all about. This is a live example. And now you need to ask yourself, how can I turn every call center agent into this power? How can I turn every branch, retail manager into this power? It doesn't cost money to care. But you cannot pay them to care either. So let's talk about that a little bit more. The first mistake that we see across all organizations is they measure customers, they measure brand equity. Oh, they love brand equity, one of those abstract concepts. And they, no offense, and they measure employee satisfaction. Our challenge to everybody in the branding business is what is the brand performance, not the brand promise. The brand performance. The branding industry and the marketing industry love communication and they love to promise things, but they never check if the people in the call center can do it. They never check if the people in the retail branch even know what they're talking about. What we found is that a customer can be a high potential customer. An employee can be a high potential employee. But if we don't measure the chemistry point, the moment of truth, when the employee and the customer gets together, we don't really understand what the brand performance is. If we don't measure the customer and the organization's connection point, each one has a great potential, but it doesn't come to performance because we don't understand the chemistry between them. So the first rule you need to ask yourself is, how do I build brand performance? Brand performance is ultimately the customer experience that happens every day. Right now, as we speak, your average call center agent takes 10,000 calls a year. 10,000 calls. You multiply it by the annual value of the customer, you understand the responsibility that this call center agent has. You're worried about customer retention, it starts right there. At the brand performance that's going to happen between the call center agent and the actual customer who's going to speak to them. And we need to start measuring our overall performance in the moment of truth and not as a separate stakeholders.